Hello, my peoples. Hooray for Freaky Friday, says Tristan. You got that right, sir. It's been a great week. Flew by. Hopefully everyone's day has been great. Bonjour, Mia. Beautiful, dude. We got some sun now here too. I'm great. Had a really good walk at the beach today this morning. There was like 20 sea lions in the water super close to the beach. It was fun to see them all dancing around in the water. Yes, Mia. Yeah, don't risk it. These storms are crazy right now. We had snow this morning too for like an hour. Super aggressive, but it's all gone now. Yes, the beach life is the life for me. All right, we're gonna do some pretty easy stuff today. I guess I should probably take out the sous vide. I did not prep that yet. So I'll go grab that real quick. Doing a little bit of sous vide cookery. It's piling up, brutal. Yeah, it never really piles up here, Mia. It just kind of slowly melts away throughout the day. Okay, I'm just gonna go grab the sous vide real quick and then we'll go over the plan for the day. It's gonna be a good one. Tristan always gets upset. Here is the lovely Anova. And then the little container for the water. So I'll just start filling this while we talk. Tristan, I think when on Discord, you can see what people are playing, but that doesn't mean that they're streaming. So it just is connected, I guess, through Steam, so that you can see what they're playing. That's awesome, dude. Don't even worry about it. I hope you have fun at the food truck roundup. Is this gonna be like a permanent thing now? And one important question as well. Are you cooking the food, Tristan? Or are you just the person taking orders and stuff? One to two times a week. That's perfect. A little bit of extra cash money in your pocket. Makes sense. You need your sanitation or food handling license. Totally makes sense, dude. Well, that's still pretty good money for just taking orders and handing people food. It's like $20 to $25 an hour. How can you go wrong? All right, so the owner and his wife cook the food. Amazing. Maybe one day that will be Sammy and I. Do I have that license? I do. It was part of my schooling. I mean, it might be expired by now, but it's not hard to renew it. Muffin, what up? 3 days straight of Cook with Kate. Lucky boy indeed. All right, the water has been poured. Just gonna put this together real quick. I guess I can show you how. So all of this stuff kind of comes apart and fits really nice in this case that we got. You got good news. So this slides onto here. Oh, that's upside down. Other way. That goes towards the back so it can get propped up on the container. How do people qualify as a Michelin star? You have to get rated by a Michelin inspector, I guess I would call it. And you know what? That's funny you asked that, Mia, because I was just looking through some of my old blog posts from Europe from when I went to eat at a Michelin star restaurant. If you want, I can post it in Discord so you can kind of see what food that they make. Talked to a lady yesterday and she told me that she knows exactly what I'm talking about with that ship in Calgary. The Maritime Museum. I've never even heard of it. But I'm glad that you figured that out. Now your ship is not actually lost. Yeah, Muffin, I don't know if I'll ever be better than Jada. Let's just be honest. You can't really beat Jada. She's in a league of her own. It looks like a bong, kind of. A very fancy electric bong. Okay, I'm gonna Google my little blog post and put the link in chat so you guys can read it up. The restaurant was called Tête de Bois. Tête de Bois in Lyon. Lyon was probably one of the most amazing places I traveled to. I really did fall in love with it. Definitely one of those places I did not want to leave. Yeah, you did hear Betty Boop. She's giggling at ya. Okay, there is the link. And while you guys are kind of sifting through that, or you can wait till I start cooking to read it, don't really care. I'm gonna go over the menu, the timeline, and our order of prep. Not a ton of ingredients today either. Sorry, I cannot talk. So pretty simple dinner going down, especially compared to yesterday. Like there was a ton of ingredients, a lot of different methods being used. So turning it down a little bit cooking wise, but turning up because it's Friday. I'm gonna do some spinach and feta stuffed chicken breasts, also called roulade. That's just the fancy word for it, but otherwise it's just a stuffed chicken breast. Pretty simple. I'm gonna make the filling first, butterfly the chicken open, and then go from there. Gonna do a nice pilaf with lentils and rice. Can you suggest a cheesecake next week? Of course. Of course. So I get this blend in my supermarket. And if you can't read that, it has sprouted French lentils, quinoa, hulled millet, split peas, brown rice, and wild rice. So really, really hearty blend. Super good for you. Definitely one of my favorite things. I've tried making coconut rice with that as well, and it works really good. Booper! Lentil party. I know. It's been a while since I cooked with these. And then into that pilaf, I'm going to do a little bit of onion and carrot for some aromatics, as well as sun-dried tomatoes and basil. So kind of sticking with the Mediterranean Italian theme here. And some roasted cauliflower and broccoli is the other side dish. We're going to spice it up a little bit with some thyme, green onion, and some capers for some salty brininess. You better tell that joke, Muffin. We're ready. Tristan, what kind of cheesecake do you want? I know that was what Booper kind of wanted me to make, but like I said, Booper, today's your last day to decide. You're still the top cheer of the week so far, so get your requests in. It's slightly rude. Just say it, dude. It can't be any more rude than some of the trolls that come in here. All right, timeline for today. If you're gonna bake the chicken, you don't have to sous vide it, just so you know. This can totally be baked. Just, you'll have to do a little bit different of a process that I'm gonna do. Tristan, with the donation, starting off the stream, my dude. For the cheesecake next week. Well, what kind of flavor can I do for ya? Tristan the Cheesecake Monster. Oh, Mia, yeah, we blocked that guy again. He's banned. I gave him 3 days to kind of smarten up. Thought maybe he was just like a little bit drunk and being weird, but no, that's just him, so we'll let him carry on with that elsewhere. Oreo cheesecake, I am in. Kate, cannot wait. Those are gonna be deadly. You know what, Muffin? I swear Onionies has told that joke a couple of times, or he says it different. I don't know if he ever uses lentils, but something along those lines. Hilarious. Oh, Mia, it got a little bit crazy. We had a little rush hour with like a good 6 trolls at some point. But we took care of them and we carried on. Okay, so if you're gonna bake the chicken, it's only gonna take about 30 minutes in the oven. I would do it at around 350 Fahrenheit. That way you get a nice slow cook on it. You don't wanna really turn up the oven a lot because otherwise you're gonna dry out the outside. So just keep that in mind. So I'm using the sous vide today, which is gonna take about 1 hour and 15 minutes. It's a little bit longer of a process, but you're gonna see just how nice it does turn out. And then I'm gonna pan fry it to finish later on. And then both the pilaf and the roasted cauliflower and broccoli should only take about half an hour to prep total. I'm glad, Mia. It gives me life too. I didn't know what to expect when I started, but I've met a lot of really cool people. All right, on to ingredients. So I have some boneless, skinless chicken breasts. I have 6 today, I believe. So there's only 4 of us. So we're probably gonna have a good 2 left over, which is totally fine. I'm sure this would be delicious the next day, just sliced up cold and put onto a salad or something. And then for the filling, we're gonna do 4 cups of spinach packed down. Because if you just throw it into a container, you're gonna notice how much air is still left in there. I'm sorry, Muffin. But this is the best thing to use for this, just because it is so even, I guess, when you flatten it out. You could use thighs as well, totally. Just, you'd probably have to pound it out instead of what I'm gonna do with butterflying it with a knife. In the filling, we're also gonna do 2 cloves of garlic and a cup of feta. So really simple filling. I'm gonna keep it, I guess, flavor simple as well. And we don't wanna overspice this because we have a couple of other stronger flavors with our dish. So for our pilaf, I'm gonna do 2 cups of that lentil and rice blend. Half an onion and 2 carrots are gonna get sauteed up. I'm gonna dice them nice and fine. Whenever you're doing something like a pilaf, you wanna keep all of your other veg that you're gonna add to it almost the same size as the rice.
Look at the resolution. Ask anybody else if you're fuzzy.
Guys, is the stream a little blurry today? Mama's saying it's weird. Okay, also in the pilaf, a bunch of basil and a 1/3 cup of sun-dried tomatoes. And then we're gonna use veggie stock to boil the rice and lentils. Just a little leggy. Loriander. Okay, glad you're still in here, because you get to decide what I'm gonna make for you next week, because you have the highest donation so far. So I'm gonna dedicate an entire stream to you. Your name is gonna be on the title, and that's gonna be Loriander's stream. Okay, sounds good, guys. Sounds good. Thanks for keeping me in check always. Okay, cauliflower and broccoli. You can make as much or as little as you want. I'm probably gonna make a good 2 sheet pans full. And then it's always good to have that to snack on later on. No, I want to do that. It's not that I need to. I want to, Loriander. I need to recognize you guys for always supporting me. And if you don't want your username in the title, that's fine, but I'm still want to make something by request from you. And then to season our cauliflower and broccoli, I'm gonna do a mixture of chopped thyme, green onions, capers, and then kind of a little vinaigrette with white wine vinegar and olive oil. Yeah, see? We gotta get that hype up. Order of prep. We're gonna make the filling for the chicken first, since the chicken is gonna be the thing that takes the longest to cook today. We have to let that cool before we stuff the chicken, because we don't want any bacteria to grow. Putting hot stuff in with cold meat, not good. And so while the filling is cooling, we're gonna butterfly our chicken breasts. And then we're gonna stuff our chicken breasts and roll them. It's gonna be a really important part for you guys to watch. It's good to know how to do this, and that is called the roulade method. So if you don't know what that is, stay tuned for a little bit longer. Hello, Quasiverse. Booper recommended me. Amazing. Thanks, Booper. And welcome to the stream, Quasi. Black Noodle, where's the shrew stew? I guess I haven't run out of money yet, so I'm not relying on cooking a shrew just yet. So would viewers like to see a Danish dish? I would love to cook a Danish dish. That's kind of hard to say. I'm not gonna say it 5 times fast. It's just a recipe for disaster. So after we stuff our chicken breasts and roll them up, I'm gonna heat the sous vide up. This is the important thing to remember. I'm gonna do it at 145 Fahrenheit. So some of you are gonna say, well, how can you cook it at that temperature with it still being undercooked? Because chicken should be cooked to 165. Tell you when I do, Black Noodle. Okay, sounds good. Thank you for the follow, Kwasi. Welcome to the Onion Squad. So 145 Fahrenheit. This is gonna give you a perfect cook on your chicken breast, and it's gonna keep that texture really nice and tender. If we went all the way up to 165, you would notice that a lot of juices would have cooked out of the chicken breast. So we're gonna keep it lower because we are gonna pan fry it later on again. And that's gonna bring the temperature up to a perfectly cooked chicken breast. I love how we always learn about everyone's different origins. Carry on, my peeps. Okay, once we get the chicken into the sous vide, when it's nice and hot, we're gonna set our timer for 1 hour and 15. And then at that point, we know we have that much time left to prep the rest of our meal. So it's still quite a long time, but I know since we chat a bunch, I'm sure we'll be able to drag it out and then prep the pilaf and the cauliflower and broccoli to have everything done around the same time. Hello, Jim Jim. How are you doing today, sir? Okay, now going over a little bit of some sous vide cookery for chicken. So traditionally, cooked chicken is penetrated by higher heat from the outside in when you roast it or bake it, let's say, as well as braising. Let's not forget that. Making it very difficult to gauge exactly what temperature it is from the edges to the center. So outside is always going to cook faster than the center, which is why it's usually a lot drier and you can see that ring around your meat. This presents a problem. In order to ensure that the center of the chicken is cooked through and safe to eat, we inevitably overcook the other outer layers. I cannot talk today. Leading to this familiar dry, stringy texture that I'm sure none of us like. What is that square thing with water in it, and what does it do? So this is the whole sous vide. So sous vide is, it means in French to cook under pressure in a vacuum sealed bag. I don't have a vacuum sealer, so we're just going to use a Ziploc, and that is totally okay because I'm not planning on storing this chicken for any further use. So whenever you cook sous vide, you need a water bath to put the machine into. And then the machine circulates the water at a certain temperature for however long you want. You can do up to 2 or 3 days at a time. And it's a lot better than braising because you don't have to watch an oven and worry about things, I guess, evaporating because you're cooking something in a closed area. Yeah, it's a sauna / hot tub. So with sous vide cooking, we're cooking at precisely the temperature at which we want to serve the meat, which means that by the time we're done, the chicken is cooked perfectly from edge to center. So the whole piece of meat is going to stay the exact same temperature. The outside is not going to get overcooked before the inside. What's more is that cooking chicken sous vide actually allows you to serve it at a slightly lower temperature, preserving valuable and flavorful juices. For anyone wondering what a roulade is, it literally means rolled in French. It can reference either meats or pastries as well. So if you've ever seen like a jelly roll with the cake roll and then the icing in the middle, that is also known as a roulade. You could also do roulade with beef, and there's a nice German one called roulade N, and it usually has pickles in it. Really, really good. And that is a braised dish. Yes, exactly, Loriander. Low and slow, and no flavors or juices escape. That is all good, Jim Jim. No worries at all, my dude. Sounds good, Tristan. Hope you have a good night on the food truck, and thank you for the donation. I'll make sure that I get that Oreo cheesecake on stream next week for you. I heard that sous vide is like the easiest way to cook things perfectly. It's really hard to mess up. At least that's the word on the street. It is true, Muffin Man. Very true. It is definitely one of the easiest ways to cook things perfectly. My Anova, that's what I use, also comes with a Bluetooth function. So let me just pull up the app here. And then it has recipes, guides. And then if I click the bottom here, this brings up the temperature, and I can set the temperature and the timer off of my phone. But you can also do it off the machine too. Really, really simple to use. You know what? Yes, they are very reasonable in price. I think this one now is just over $100, and it has never failed on us once. It's amazing. You can sous vide vegetables as well. I've never done it, but apparently they turn out like perfect, right? You just have to know the timing and temperature, which Google will be your best friend on this. There are a lot of things out there now in which people have sous vide almost everything and let you know how it goes, as well as timing and temperature charts. So Anova has a full site where you can go for any references that you want. And then people obviously write reviews if it worked or not, and if you need to adjust anything. And I'm pretty sure I put the Anova into my Amazon gear on my channel page if you want to check it out further. So let's set our temp for the sous vide right now. 145 Fahrenheit. So if you ever cook a steak or something, that would be way too much. But for chicken, I think it's perfect because that's about a medium in temperature. And then we'll bring it up to well once we pan fry it later on. And then also the good thing is you can add any aromatics into your bag when you're cooking either your meat or vegetables, and those flavors are going to be imparted into your food a lot easier than, say, pan frying or braising. Sounds good, Muffin. I like it. I like this slang. Sous vide. Dan Blazirin. And a bottle of red wine. Maybe, dude. Maybe. I mean, once again, I'm cooking a light meat. So your reference to red wine kind of... I can't do it, my good sir. I would always choose white. But we can break the rules sometimes. Pull out a bottle of red. Why not? Yes, yes. That is very true, Loriander. You're my fact machine over here. I love it. Yeah, I would rather say sous vide with the slang. Way more fun. Okay. Have my app started here. All I have to do is press start later on. And we are good to go. Kate, your rebel. Yes, sir. Okay, the first thing we're gonna do, let's prep our filling for the chicken. It shouldn't take us very long. I'm gonna grab the spinach and the feta out of the fridge. I kept those both in the fridge just so they would stay fresh. I don't like to leave my cheese out very long because that makes it not last as long. And I think I'm gonna turn on some lights because it's getting a little bit dark in here. We're just gonna need a little saute pan for this. I know it seems like a lot of spinach, but you have to keep in mind that it's gonna cook down at least by half. So we might even have to add more than 4 cups. We'll see. Get our garlic in here. 2 cloves. Death! What's up, what's up? Welcome, my man. That's a perfect way to use it. Hey, Loriander? I'm sure it's great for infusing alcohol. Because you can infuse it without cooking it out, right? Makes total sense. It is going great so far. Got that Friday feeling. We're chilling out. Last stream of the week before the weekend. Just gonna do some simple cooking today. Nice Mediterranean flavors. Yeah, I always say nothing fancy, but I'm sure to a couple of you it's a little bit fancy. And we're gonna wanna mince this garlic so we get that flavor throughout all of our spinach. And that is going to be the first thing we do. So let's get some olive oil into our pan. I'm gonna switch this view right now because there's not a ton of ingredients to look at over there anymore. There we go. Hi, Sammy. And probably just a couple teaspoons of olive oil in there. We're gonna let that get a little bit hot first. Let's measure out our spinach. So these are both 2-cup measures. So I'm just gonna stuff them full. And that should be enough. Don't be afraid to really pack it down. You don't have to be scared to bruise it because we're gonna cook it anyways, right? You can be mean to your spinach for once. Hi. Good. Instant 74. The life. Eating pretzels and drinking wine while watching a cooking show. That does sound like the life. Pretzels and wine? It's a good combo. And I'm glad you chose my cooking show. All right. Let us mince this garlic into our pan. Like so. FIFA Harry. Hello, my name is Harry. Hello, Harry. My name is Kate. How are you today? Poder. What are you saying, Jim? Thank you for the follow, Harry. not burn our garlic here. So just a light saute till it gets golden brown, and then we're gonna throw in the spinach. And then throwing in the cold spinach is gonna stop the garlic from cooking. Harry Potter. I love Harry Potter. That's like one of the ways Sammy and I met. You're from England. I got a couple people in here from England. So this is gonna sizzle a bit. Give it a nice mix around. And it should start to wilt. Put in our other cup. Harry Potter is one of the most famous British films. I love those movies. I used to get called Hermione when I was younger. I'm sure you guys can see the resemblance. Oh, spinach is going crazy. I just missed something from death. B-Day 100. Thanks, Death. For my B-Day? Or your B-Day? Your favorite film is 28 Days Later and Shaun of the Dead. Those are good ones, Jim Jim. I love Mr. Bean. This is smelling great already. And I'm just gonna shut this off. And let this spinach keep wilting in here. And take it off of the heat now. Just leave it over here. I kind of burnt my board the other day with one of my cast irons. Ah, Death. Makes sense. I thought you like secretly knew it was my birthday. Next Thursday is the date. I've heard of Peaky Blinders, but I've never checked it out. Thank you for all the follows already, guys. Oh, totally. That would have been so weird. And like, are you stalking me? Mix these couple of leaves into here. And then I'm gonna measure out my feta. Is it on cable, Harry, or is it on Netflix or something like that? I'm just gonna use this bowl to mix our stuffing in. What is my favorite dish? I would say either pasta or pizza instant. I should have been born Italian in another life. I used to play soccer, FIFA Harry. Good couple years when I was younger. Really competitive. It kept me out of trouble. It was always good times. Made some awesome friends that way. Yeah, Beckham. Okay, so we're just gonna crumble our feta up. But I'm gonna measure out a cup first, and then obviously crumble it up from there. You're a goalkeeper. Impressive. There's no way that I could do that. The keeper that we had on our team growing up was unreal. She'd make the greatest saves, like, super impressive. You guys have some special talent standing in that net. And you know what? I did travel quite a bit too when I played soccer when I was younger. Lots of tournaments out of town. See a little bit of Canada, got to see a little bit of the States. And then in high school when I played, we went to Italy for 2 weeks and played against some of the teams there. Really, really fun. Definitely an experience I will not forget. All right, feta is in. And then I am not going to season this until afterwards because feta is really salty, right? Yeah, super cool. I feel very blessed that I had those opportunities when I was younger. But like I said, it kept me out of trouble for sure. It's kind of true, Harry. It's kind of true. But what we said yesterday, Jim and I, was he's a really good role model. He might not be the best player, but he's a great role model. Positive influence for everyone. Yeah, he's not like Rooney at all. You're from Manchester? I went to the stadium there when I was traveling Europe 4 years ago. Really, really cool. I did the full tour. We went in the change rooms and everything. Manchester was very nice. Really nice city. I enjoyed it a lot. Yeah, you know what though, Jim? I saved up all of my money for that, right? So I worked for it. You gotta just set those goals, man, and then crush it. You can do whatever you want to do. I mean, considering I was a cook that whole time saving up, it didn't take me very long. What's up? Yeah. I went to Trafford. Did I take pictures? I did. And you know what? I was just looking for them yesterday, and I can't find where they are. They're in the cloud. They're stuck somewhere. You say 1:30?
Yes, please.
My Europe photos are stuck in the cloud. Hopefully I can track them down. I only have like 200 or so from the first couple days. And the other ones are stuck somewhere up in the sky. So before we mix the spinach in, we're gonna give it a little chop because it tends to get a little bit stringy when you cook it. And that'll make it hard to cut up the roulades really nice later on. So always chop your cooked spinach a bit. I love taking photos, Jim. Should have been a food photographer or something. That is so good to hear, Harry. Really enjoy meeting all these new people all the time. So just give this a rough chop. I just put this cutting board here because spinach tends to stick to a lot of stuff when you cut it, and I didn't want to stain my wood board. Definitely getting that good roasted garlic smell already. And you don't have to go super fine. I'm gonna stop there. You guys are upset about the chicken. This is the first time I've done boneless, skinless breast on stream, and you guys are all upset. But just wait until I finish it and you're gonna be like, oh, I get why she's doing this now. Yeah, I'd even love to do like a couple of write-ups for magazines or something like that. I know I would enjoy it. Let's give this a mix now. I have a feeling we may not even have to add salt, just a little bit of pepper. So there's a pretty even mix of both spinach and feta in here. I deserve more viewers. It takes time, Harry. You know what? We gotta build up to that. I am stuffing the chicken. I'm gonna make roulades, Death. Wow, Instant. You don't eat anything that walks, flies, or swims. That's a good way to put it. Rather than just saying you're like a vegan or a vegetarian. It should turn out good, Death. First time I'm doing it, so... Once again, a first for Kate on stream. Okay, I'm gonna give this a little taste test. Definitely some really good roasted garlic flavor. And the creaminess of the feta. Gonna be so good inside of the chicken. And then because feta is a little bit more firm of a cheese, it's not gonna melt everywhere either. It's gonna stay in the center like it should. Okay, I'm doing like a pinch of salt in here. No more than that. One more taste again. Gotta make sure I hit that salt level. And we are there. Delicious. Okay, next thing up. Butterflying our chicken. I'm sorry, Mia. I'm a very visual and hands-on person, so I've definitely watched like a ton of YouTube videos, done a lot of research online, and I probably have now close to 30 cookbooks that I take reference out of or just read through one day. Got a little bit of an obsession about food, but it's the simplest pleasure in life. Yeah, spit out that wine laughing. Yeah, just slice it and then put the toothpicks through it. Like, it never turns out well. Ah, doing pockets on each side. That's a good way too, Death. Yeah, so if you were to bake this in the oven, you'd have to get some butcher's twine and tie it. But I'm gonna use saran wrap, and that's gonna keep it really nice and tight. And I'm gonna use this green board again to do my chicken on, so that I don't mess up my wooden board. Gotta keep it clean. So there's also an option of pounding out the chicken breast if you want with a meat mallet, but I am not gonna do that today. I'm gonna show you how to use your knife skills a little bit better. Yes, Milanese. Are you from Spain, Instant? Love Milanese. Chicken cordon bleu, so good. That onion looks like a baby face. Which onion? This onion? What are you talking about, Mia? Yeah, you did. Put that bacon on that chicken. When is that ever a bad thing? I'm just gonna get a sheet pan here beside me to put the filleted breasts onto. And I'm gonna line it with paper towel so it stays nice and dry. It's gonna make filling it a lot easier in the end. What are you guys talking about? Sup, Panda? I love the little things that you guys see. Haunted house confirmed. Come on. I guess that's okay because we're leaving soon, right? All right, chicken time. So this is the tender. It's still attached and we're gonna leave that there. So I might be able to do this with all of the chicken breasts, and then that's how I'm gonna base my butter flying off of. So let's do the first one. Super haunted, you guys. They thought the onion was a baby face. I didn't see it. It'll be okay, guys. I got knives and stuff, right? I'm safe. I'll keep us safe. So what we're gonna do, we wanna keep all of the chicken relatively the same thickness. So look at this thickness of the tender. That's pretty much exactly what we're gonna go for with the rest of our chicken breast. So kind of just flatten it out so you get a nice surface to work with. And it's pretty thin right here, so I'm gonna start with my knife kind of along this side, if you can see the line that I'm putting in. And then just do a straight cut across, and then we're gonna open it up. And that's called butterflying. I would hope so, Panda. I don't even know. So just keep your knife steady along the one side. And obviously we're not gonna cut through, right? Like a so. And then when we go to stuff this later, I'm gonna start rolling it with this side and then roll it to the more flat side. So this is how it's gonna look. And then you can also pound this out, like I said, if that's easier for you. But just take it slow. You should definitely be able to do this on your own. Don't be scared. And hopefully your chicken tenders stay attached like mine are. Makes it a lot easier. Okay, second one. So this part's a little bit thicker, so I'm gonna start farther over near the tender. And I'm trying to go exactly through the middle of this piece. Not cutting through the other side. And then we're just gonna flip it open like so. That one turned out really well. Nice even surface to roll our filling into. And I'm sure you're gonna need a good sharp knife for this as well. Number 3, done. Death, I am not using toothpicks. I'm gonna do the saran wrap method because I am sous videing this. So that's the good part about sous videing is you can wrap your stuff in saran and it's not going to melt or do anything like that to your meat. Number 4. In the recipes section of Discord, Death, I posted a link in the recipe that I posted to, I guess, a YouTube video of a guy making a roulade if you want to see what I'm going to do today. Thanks, Panda. Okay, this one is really, really thick. So let's use our good judgment here and kind of keep it really even. But as you can see, I'm not rushing through it. Just paying attention to where my blade is at. And then if you need to touch it up, just open it up a bit more. And then that's the last one. So that's definitely the biggest one that I have. How about a pork tenderloin casserole in paprika sauce with mushroom, silver skin onions, cocktail sausages, and some also crispy bacon on top, served with rice or mashed potatoes. That sounds really interesting, Loriander. I can do it. I said anything you want. So cocktail sausages are a thing? Just washing up my hands real quick, guys, as well as my knife. Oh, I know what the cocktail sausages are. They come in cans. We can get them here, for sure. Yeah, little weenies. Totally know what they are. All right, all clean. Can you see where I burnt my board? I just like scorched it with the entire bottom of the pan the other day. Barry's back, or Harry's back. Okay, next step, my peeps. How do I want to do this? I think I'm just gonna fill all of these with the filling and then take this tray off and then put the saran wrap over the board and roll it in front of you. And I'll probably do a double layer just in case I tear it or something. So try to divide it as evenly as possible over your chicken. Probably gonna use my hands to just spread it out afterwards. Keep in mind you don't want to overfill it. You still want to be able to completely seal it up with chicken on both sides. Otherwise your filling is just going to fall out. All right. So I'm just going to spread this out. Not all the way to the edges though. Just make it nice and flat so it's easy to roll. And then the spinach and feta is going to give really, really nice contrast of colors when we slice into this later on. You want to see those nice layers of chicken and feta and melty cheese. Okay, Lori, I just saw that you posted in Discord. I'll check it in a sec. Should be good. You know what? I have like 2 spoonfuls of filling left, so let's just divide it up. Don't want to waste any of this. Love how quiet you guys are being. Just focused, hey? Oh God, it does look like a baby face. Jim, I just saw the photo. Terrifying. That looks delicious, Lori. So that's what you want? I'm gonna write it down. Is there a name for this? Honestly, I love when you do those little things, Jim. They make my day. So let's get 2 layers of plastic wrap. Always go bigger than you think you need. That way you're not like stuck having to add any later on. You want to keep it nice and flat. Obviously plastic wrap is a little bit of a pain, so this is going to take some patience for sure. My personal artist, yes sir. And you know what? I'm just gonna cut or lay out all of the plastic wrap that I'm gonna need. So enough for the 5 chicken breasts, so I don't have to keep washing my hands in between. Because I don't really want to get any raw chicken on this box. Not really washable per se. Did anyone eat anything exciting today? No. Jim has a sad diet face going on, or what? When are you making cornflake treats? Those will make you happy. Okay, 2 more, guys. Next weekend you'll try? Sounds good. Panda. You're like, what is on the cutting board? What has she done? Seriously, Loriander? That's nuts. I'm sure I could use Google Translate if you didn't want to do it for me. Just give me the title of it and I can do all that work on my own. Balsamic chicken and potato salad with my mix of mustard, mayo relish, and onion and garlic. That sounds good. Simple but yummy. Yeah, Death. You better get thinking. Dinner's gonna creep up on you. All right, we are all laid out. Good to go. Just gonna take a swig of water. Now the hard part of the stream. Just figuring out which way I wanted to roll this. I think I'm gonna go long ways. So try and roll this as tight as you can. It's okay if the edges are open. kind of pack that filling in near the end. Try and keep all the spinach off of the outside because that might color it when it cooks in the sous vide. And then I'm gonna take my plastic wrap on this side now. Bring it in really tight. It's gonna kind of make like a little chicken sausage kind of. And keeping that tight, we're gonna roll it all the way down. And this is where we're at so far. Sorry, I held that too high. And you can kind of see the other side where the filling was. And then hold the ends and roll it towards yourself. And keep doing that until the ends are really tight. And then you're gonna end up with a little nice chicken log. And that is called a roulade. So you can still see the filling on the other side, but that's totally fine. And then the next thing we have to do is just tie our ends really nice and tight. And this is gonna get cooked in the plastic wrap. I know you guys are paying attention because it always gets quiet in chat. Good job, class. Boom. Super nice little chicken roll. And that one is done. Just make sure your knots are really nice and tight and we can carry on. Way better than using toothpicks or string, hey? 50 more to go. Only 4 more. And I'm always starting on the side that has the tender because those sometimes fall off really easily. So we want to keep that in the middle. Am I putting it into a Ziploc? I will be. And that's going to be the sous vide part. So now roll it back the other way. Take your ends. Chicken logs today. Thank you for that clip, Death. It's gonna be awesome. I know Anyunis would love it. But he's currently helping prep for a storm in Ireland, so he couldn't make it to the stream today. So look at the size difference here between the chicken breasts, hey? So that's also the good thing about sous vide, is that these are still gonna be perfectly cooked within an hour and 15 minutes, even though this one's bigger and this one's smaller. Whereas if you were to bake this in the oven, this would take a lot longer to roast than this one. Had to do 2 clips. Okay, the tender is on this side this time, so I'm gonna roll towards you guys. MVP. True. Got a lot of awesome regulars in here, I have to say. Get in there, feta cheese. You're not escaping. So Jim Jim, this is another way that you can eat your chicken breast. I mean, obviously, maybe don't put as much cheese if you're on a diet, but you can definitely fill it with like garlic and lemon and spices, and then it won't be as boring as just, I guess, baking it. I want bacon. That was one of the things I always craved too. Something smoky, sweet, and salty. Third one done. So these two are pretty much the exact same size. It's awesome. Another thing you can do as a different option is putting prosciutto down onto the plastic wrap before you roll it. And then that's gonna be on the outside of the chicken then. Give it a little bit different, more salty flavor, I would guess, than just doing chicken breasts, because prosciutto is delicious when it's wrapped around chicken, or really anything for that matter. I guess you could also do ham, just it might not hold the same way because ham's a little bit more dry. All right, one more to go. You can't wait for next weekend. Yeah, treat day, hey? You gotta work for those treats though. So it makes it worth it. And then they taste so much better. No cameraman. Do you not have a tripod? I'm sure you have a tripod. Just set it up like that. But burglar, hey! Glad you can make it. Yeah, I haven't done too much crazy stuff yet, but I just finished making all of the chicken roulades. Here's our little lineups. Boom, boom. Oh, you don't like static shots? Makes sense. You paid to trim and clean for your in-laws today. Awesome. And you do a lot of things for them. I'm sure they love you. You're so handy all around the house all the time. All right. Those are the roulades, my peeps. Death. He loved it. Thank you, sir. Thank you, my sir. Well, that's good that you get paid. That's even better. Okay, next thing I have to do. Press this button on the Innova app and start our sous vide. We're gonna hear the beep. Ready? Boom. Now it's heating up and it's gonna let me know when it's ready. Right now it's at 103. So we want it to go up to 145. We have a little bit of time. So I'm just gonna put these into Ziploc bags for now, but I'm not gonna seal them up. I'm gonna divide it between 2 bags, I think. Strap it to a drone. Yeah. Imagine if I had like a little drone guy following me around here. It'd be awesome. Oh, it's dinner time for our doggo, guys. The excitement is real. So there's 1 bag. And there is the other bag. Next thing on the list is prepping our pilaf mix, which is 2 cups of lentil and rice blend. I'm gonna chop the half onion and 2 carrots first. So we're gonna saute that a bit. Where's the onion crew? Omat is at his brother's surprise birthday party. And Onionies is helping someone prep for the storm that's about to come, he said. We got Jim Jim and Death. I don't know if Panda's still in here. We're chilling though. There's 14 of us, just everyone's lurking, I think. And I'm probably not going to stream that long today because the guys came home early, so I don't have to wait until 6. There's usually a silent 10. Yeah, totally where we're at, but the silent 10, which is totally allowed. Okay, half of our onion. And we're gonna do small dice here to kind of match the size of our rice and lentils. Make everything consistent in size. really nice and fine. And crying, always. It's a thing. Okay, this little piece of onion here is being problematic. Whew, cannot see. The onion butt shall be discarded. Oh, I totally know what you mean, Loriander. That's hilarious presentation-wise. I'm into it. It's like so old school. I'm very much down with that. And then you bake it? Crazy. I know, Death, hey? It's like it hurts so much. Why do we eat it? But it's good for us? It doesn't make sense. Literal tears running down my face right now. I'm just gonna grab a Kleenex. Yeah, it's not good for dogs either. It's okay, guys. Just getting a little emotional in here today. Just so happy you're all here. Carrots time. What's this? Oh, Matt, you made it. Back from the party already? Well, one trick I know with onions is your knife should be really sharp. And mine definitely isn't. I can tell when I was cutting it. What is your trick, Loriander? All right, small dice on the carrots too. First, we'll get this one in here. Kate, favorite way to cut down carrots. Let's cut them down a little bit further so they're easier to manage. Never remove the back end of it. Oh, interesting. I guess that makes sense. It's just like not in my blood to like keep that there. Like I've always just cut off both ends because it makes it easier to peel, right? You leave it on and it still hurts. Okay, now we know. Just get out the swimming goggles and call it a day. Maybe I'll whip them out one day on stream for you guys. Yay, Omat. It's so good, sir. Just give me a sec to chop these carrots and I'll show you the chicken. Because they are awesome. And I'm sure you would love to make this, honestly. I could see you making this for your grill. She'd be impressed. Okay, so here's our little chicken roulades that I stuffed with the spinach and feta and wrapped in saran. So I have 5 of them. And then one is really big. And we're sous videing them. So we're just waiting for it to heat up. Yeah, totally, Death. It's like nobody's got time for that. Yeah. All right, next thing I'm gonna do is chop up the sun-dried tomatoes because we're gonna saute them with the veg about halfway through and they should soften up that way. Where are you at, Jim? I just opened your link. Boom. That's a good setup, sir. Love it. Yes, but. Okay, sous vide is already at 124. No, Siri, I am not talking to you right now. And sun-dried tomatoes, we are doing about 1/3 of a cup. Don't want to overpower the pilaf with their flavor. Yes, dual monitors for the win. Watch Marco Pierre while cutting an onion. I've never seen Australian MasterChef. Yes. My onion squad, represent. Yeah, Omat hit that emoticon straight on the head. I was so impressed. It's got some skills. So we don't have to cut the sun-dried tomatoes as fine as the carrots and onions. So I'm just gonna slice them in half and then chop them down about medium dice. And I always like to choose the tomatoes packed in oil because then they're not hard to begin with. I know you can get like the actual dried ones that are just in plastic, but I always find you have to rehydrate them somehow before you use them. Where is he, Omat? Nobody knows. Is he alive still? Or did he get into the storm? Never to be seen again. Yeah, do it up, Loriander. Post that vid. But you saved it. I don't know, it's so weird when the stream just randomly cuts out for people. I don't get it. I know I love sun-dried tomatoes. Just like completely concentrated tomato flavor, but in all the good ways. Sweetness. That is it. I'm just gonna rinse my knife because it's all greasy. You're laying in your bed at your parents' place. Amazing. Okay, I'm just grabbing the basil and showing you how sad it's looking, which is exactly why I'm putting it into the pilaf. So definitely got a little bit too cold in the fridge or something. And so it doesn't really matter. Like, there's still a bunch of flavor in there, which is exactly why I'm going to chop it up. Obviously discard the really brown pieces like this. And it's going to be fine in the pilaf. Anytime you heat basil, it's going to start to turn brown. So we are fine. We're going to add that near the end though. We don't want to saute it with the veg at all. Okay, I'm going to open that link coriander and just see how long it is. Okay, it's only a minute. I'll watch it in a little bit once I start boiling the rice and stuff. Yes, but so good. I know, poor basil, hey? It was beautiful. But that's okay. Instead of throwing it out, I was like, well, I can definitely put that into something, but not use it for presentation, right? Let's measure our lentils. Nobody knows who Marco Pure White is. He made Gordon cry. I didn't know those things. I just know his face. So 2 cups of this lentil mix is probably enough to feed 6 people. It is super heavy and starchy. I don't think you will find this anywhere because it is a Canadian thing. So obviously all of these grains are grown in Canada and I love it because it's non-GMO. And we got that at Costco. Yay, OMAT. Okay, so our 2 cuppers are here. Nice colorful mix. Just gonna pour that into our pot. And then I'm gonna mix up some veg stock. Faraz with the follow. Welcome to the Onion Squad. Can I make chicken parm one day? I can definitely write it down on the request list. But I usually do special meals for my top cheerers or donators. The cup looks awesome. Yeah. Try and open this thing. Hulk out. We're good. My kitchen is nice. You're assuming I'm in Toronto. I am actually on the west coast, Faraz, on Vancouver Island. opposite side. But those spoiled jerks. All right, sous vide is at 138. We're almost there. You want crackers? Okay. Okay, I got my hot water in my measuring cup. What would you like, bagel ones?
Just the little ones.
Greens? Which little ones?
Bagel ones.
Yep. I'm a Vancouver girl. Not born there. I was born in Edmonton, but I lived in Vancouver for 3 years until just this year I moved out to the island. Where are you from, Faraz? Beets are better. I doubt that. Good scoop of our bouillon here. All organic. Hola. 1C button. What is up? You're from Tirana. Been in Ontario all of your life. Very cool. I do love Toronto. They got a good food scene out there. I would say it's better than Vancouver's. Everyone's not all high and stuck up on themselves like it is in Vancouver. Omat is not having any of it. Okay, I'm gonna super concentrate my 2 cups for the rice, and then I'm just gonna pour water in the last 2 cups. That way I don't have to deal with this twice. It's my little trick. You don't want any lumps of bouillon either. What's your favorite restaurant in Toronto? I guess if you are a foodie. I'm sure you gotta have something though. All right, I'm gonna turn this on to high now. Bring that up to a boil, and then we're gonna simmer it. Oh, I definitely trust that you know your headphone game. You're like Sammy. All right, let's just give that a cover. Let it come up. Shouldn't take very long. Trying to get that glare off of there for you guys. I don't know if it's gonna happen though. Hopefully it's not shining too bright. It's one thing I don't get. Why do South Park make Canadian heads bob up and down? No idea. I don't usually watch South Park. You like Frings. Never heard of it. Cheesecake Factory. That's a classic. I could get down with that. Let me check, Matt. I don't really know the brand. Astro A50s. Alright, I guess I can start sauteing up our veg. You know what? I'm just gonna reuse the pan from earlier. It's like the perfect size. Gonna give it a rinse out. Do I know Suser Lee? I do! I actually met him in culinary school. We had a chef in residence every year. So he came down to Alberta and came to Nate and chilled with all of us for a day. Was in the kitchen. We cooked some of his food. It was super cool. Very, very humble guy. And I did not expect him to be that tall and lanky. But great sense of humor on him. Matt. Yeah, he said it was a pretty decent pair, so I'm sure he wouldn't buy anything crappy. Yeah, and then at the end of the day, Suser Lee pretty much told all of us if we wanted a job, just message him up and we could do a little stage or whatever we wanted over there. Okay, he owns Frings. See, I don't know what all of his restaurants are. I know he has a couple. Okay, that was our sous vide. So let's put these guys into the sous vide. And I'm just gonna close this about 80% of the way and then let the pressure of the water push the rest of the air out of the bag, and then I'll seal it up that way. Oh, is that their restaurant? See, I'm not even up on like Canadian restaurants. There's too many. Sammy is not at work anymore. He's dealing with some car stuff. So we might go get it from Vancouver this weekend and bring it over. All right, Jim, you have a great night, sir. And whatever you're doing tomorrow, I hope it goes well. Hopefully see you Monday. Now we set the timer. He should be back soon. A new car? No, an old car that we didn't drive the whole time that we lived in Vancouver, so it needed a little bit of maintenance. And it's been in an auto shop for a little while, and we're gonna go back over soon and grab it. The Old Faithful. Okay, let me just set this timer first. 1 hour and 15 minutes. Start. Good to go. Okay, our mix is boiling. Let's turn this down a bit. Probably gonna take a good 20 minutes for that to become tender. No, I'm okay. Thanks. And I'm just gonna be right back, 2 seconds. Chill out. Great, we're gonna start sauteing. Let's go with a medium heat here. I'm gonna caramelize the veg a little bit. Never feel bad for that, but we always know you're here. Just gonna chop up the thyme as well right now. I feel ya. Oh, Matt, you always need more sleep. Part of that is my fault, I'm sure, so sorry about that. Yeah, I don't know how you guys live off of that. I couldn't do it. Need like a good 7 to 8 or I'm just like the grumpiest person ever. Okay, this is getting hot. Let's do a little bit of olive oil. A couple teaspoons. Your happiest was 12 hours. Yeah, that would make sense. Aren't we all? Gotta cherish that sleep. The one and only Monocle donated $20. How did I miss that? Monocle, love you. Thank you so much. handle it, guys. Too much love. Okay, I think this pan is getting hot. We can do our onions and carrots. You're running on 6 hours of sleep the last 2 days. How are you alive? I'm just gonna slowly caramelize that stuff. I'm gonna chop up the green onions. They're a little floppy, which is also why I'm putting them into the pilaf. Yeah, RIP to Omat. He might not make it through. You go to sleep now. You could. Okay, as always, let's do our onions on the bias, because it's just more fun to chop them like that. Limping, hello. How are you today? We've got that sizzle action. I think our lentils are about halfway there. You were in earlier, but you had to leave. You're tired. I think everyone that's watching right now is just like run down with sleep. Dinner is going well. I have the chicken roulade in the sous vide over there. I just dropped it, so there's an hour left on it. It's only been in for about 10 minutes. And then I'm just prepping the rice pilaf right now. Sauteing up some veg, cooking the rice. And then after this, I'll prep the roasted veggies. Pretty chill stream, not a ton of ingredients today. Were you guys all in here when I posted the link to the Michelin restaurant that I ate at? My little blog? I know Mia wanted me to post it, but that was like the first thing. I don't think any of you were in here yet. Maybe Death was. You weren't here. Okay, I'll post the link again, so I'm sure you guys would want to check it out. Super cool place. Restaurant in Lyon, France. Probably my favorite place in France. What are you doing over there? You know what? Let's chop our capers up real quick too. Sounds good, but we'll be here. Yeah, don't look at it now, Omat. You'll just fall asleep. I'm only doing about half a tablespoon of capers because they are pretty strong. Really, Omat? I loved Leon. It was super fun always walking around and exploring. That's fair enough. I mean, to each their own. There's a lot of places that are better than it. What is your favorite place in France, then? Almost there on the lentils. You always went camping there? That's amazing. Your little bread roll was still warm and the butter was orange scented. Oh yeah. That was a good memory. I know when I was reading it today, it just like brought me back. It's the little things, right? It's not just bread and it's not just butter. Yeah, that's where the food turns into art. And the view from that place was like stellar. You had a complete panoramic view of Lyon. A little bit of water left in those. Who is this? Follow. Angel Ricky, welcome. You love the East Coast, a bit more south towards Bordeaux. Yeah, West Coast. I was like, huh. Yeah, there's still a bunch of places that I still have to travel to. Not done with that yet. I don't know if I'll ever be done though. Can you really see everything in this lifetime? I guess we'll see. It's really nice and tender, so I'm just going to turn up the heat to get rid of whatever excess water is still in our lentils and rice. So we don't want it to go mushy. We want to keep it nice and fluffy. Yeah, you can definitely try. That's very cool that you went camping though, Omat. Love camping. I'm sure it would be very fun in Europe. I probably haven't gone camping in a good, what, 15 years maybe? 10 years? Maybe 10 years. Since I was 16. It's been too long. Barry is back.
I couldn't get the phone insurance. They have to see the car. It's only because they bring it from other provinces.
Gonna hit the bed. Yeah, sounds good, dude. Don't push yourself. You get some rest. You got a day full of moving tomorrow. But thanks for coming to check, even though you had your party and stuff today. Always appreciate that. And hope you have a good weekend. Not gonna see you guys for a couple of days, but Monday we're gonna go strong again. Yeah, sleep no problem. Omat is gone. Okay, so I'm making Viking pot for Loriander next week. Danish Viking pot. Looks and sounds amazing. La Chouffe Blonde. That's a good beer. Yum. You're all full of the wheats. Okay, how are we doing in here? We're almost there, guys. Couple little water droplets left in the bottom there. But we're gonna cook it till it's dry and then cover it. So it steams and then it'll get nice and fluffy. Stay thick, my dude. Yeah, she's already got it out, Omat. But got a package in the mail. Those are always good days. Alright, let us check. So bottom of the pot is dry, so we're good to go. Just gonna turn that off and cover it. And that should stay nice and warm in there for the next little bit. I know we're not eating for at least an hour from now. I'll say hi to Barry for you. Could I make beef Wellington? Yes, I can. I love beef Wellington. Okay, it's getting written down, guys. My parents are saying salmon Wellington. We could do like a surf and turf Wellington day. I have done Ramsay's Wellington recipe before. A Christmas, probably 5 years ago. So I would have only been cooking for about 2 years at that point. I was a wee one still. Beef Wellington voting? Limping, are you in? Maybe I'll even make the puff pastry from scratch. But I'd have to start it a couple days ahead of time. Okay, our veg is caramelizing really nicely. Are you in for the beef Wellington? Death has asked me to make it, and Butt has put in a vote. But I think it's already being done. So even if you say no, still gonna make it. Yeah, she says. Ooh, I got a really nice photo to show you guys real quick. So remember the ribeyes that I bought the other day? I broke them down before stream, and this was one of them. Look at that marbling. It looks too good. And I left the bones on those ones, so like they're probably a good 2 inches thick. It's gonna be like a Florentine steak night. I wanna make my own pastry dough, Limping. I've done it before at school. Yeah, thick as F. I think I'm gonna throw in the thyme now. So let me chop up the capers real quick. We got maybe about just over 5 minutes left on this veg being sauteed for the pilaf. Ah. Yes, Monocle, you heard Wellington. It's happening. It's gonna be a fun stream for sure. Make sure I get some really nice mushrooms for it. After 3 bites, you were done. It is very rich. Yeah, we also said salmon, so maybe I'll do like a surf and turf and do some salmon ones and some beef ones. I'm gonna put the sun-dried tomatoes in here now. Scrape all that extra oil into the pan. Giving my board a wipe. I don't want the wood to suck in too much of that sun-dried tomato oil. Otherwise it's just gonna smell and taste like that forever. I might have to come out for a lesson for that one. Do it! That'd be a fun one for sure. Okay, let's pick through this sad basil that I have. It still smells really good. All of that gone. Limping. It's bugging you. Yeah, Booper is just nuts. I did not expect that. Feeling the love this week for sure. You guys are so generous. Trying to salvage as much of this basil as possible. Getting a good amount. So that's how much I'm gonna throw away because it's just really brown and spotty. But you got enough. Got a good handful. You don't need too much more than that. Otherwise it'll just be overpowering. This is a pan of happiness for sure. Yes.
Is it, if you were to cook that, is that still good or not?
Yeah.
Just fresh salad.
Yeah, spotty basil is okay. Just don't use it for presentation. And I'm just gonna chiffonade this. So like always, I'm gonna roll my little cigar. My herb cigar. Putting the smallest leaves on top and the biggest leaves on the bottom. And then just use your index finger to guide your blade, keeping it as thin as possible. Yes, that sauce was so, so good. I still remember the taste of that dish, actually. And I know I said it was my favorite thing from that meal. But the dessert was unreal, too. I could not get over that presentation. Oh, I'm sure it is really simple. Lemon verbena. I could imagine it's quite easy to take care of. Look at that stuff. That oily sheen. Delicious. Alright, I'm just gonna put my herbs aside on my board, and then I can start prepping the veg for roasting later. But You sneaker. Number 2. That just kind of reminds me of Austin Powers. Limping is so sad. Thank you so much, but I really appreciate that. Seriously. You're not even here enough to do that for me. Death, there is an audio delay. I don't know why. I think it's just the internet upload speed is super, super low out here where we are on the island. But we are going to switch providers, and hopefully that fixes this situation. Because I'm definitely not overpowering the system I'm using right now. The wonderful greens and veggies. Gotta stay healthy, my friends. I'm gonna cook these on 2 separate sheet pans as well. And I'm gonna call it a day on this mix. Tomatoes are just a little bit caramelized. So we're gonna just take that off the heat, let it cool off. But gifted a sub to Limping. I love you guys. Greatest community ever on here. Everyone is just so supportive. Yeah, we can try doing that this weekend, Death, for sure. But my boyfriend is a big computer techie geek, so he's tried everything pretty much so far. Other than the internet. Okay, getting my parchment for our sheet pans. We don't want no sticking action. KA-52 attack helicopter. I am making some stuffed chicken breast today with a sun-dried tomato and basil rice pilaf and some roasted broccoli and cauliflower. Kind of sticking with the Mediterranean / Italian theme today. Some nice light fresh flavors to finish off our week. I'm glad you think that sounds great. All of the stuff I'm making today is all my own recipes as well. So if you want it, pop into the Discord. The invite link is on my channel page. And just go into the recipe section. That's a good mix. I'm jealous. I'm sure you get amazing food all the time. Middle Eastern and Asian. Yum. All right, broccoli time. I'm just gonna break these down into more of a bite-sized piece. That way you're not trying to put a tree into your mouth while eating dinner. Lamb kebab with tandoori bread, chili sauce, and salad. I'm kind of jealous right now. Sounds amazing. I just made a Canadian version of a kebab earlier this week called a donair. Dropping my broccoli. Papa, come here. You gots to go. All right, Limping. Hope your dinner goes well. And have a great weekend. Hopefully I'll see you on Monday. And I'm going to post the menu once I do it up on my Twitch page. So stay tuned for that. That way you guys know what I'm cooking all next week. I think that's a good reason to be slow though, Helicopter. Probably makes cleaning up afterwards a breeze. Definitely a little OCD when it comes to cooking as well. I always like to keep my stuff clean. Come on. Over here. But I also have a vacuum built in, known as a dog. So that helps as well if anything falls on the ground. An hour to cook French toast, but you were high. That makes sense. I'm sorry for your loss of time there, but I'm sure it tasted amazing. The family food Hoover, exactly. Yo, I got a built-in Roomba. It's got legs. And it listens. Alright, so we don't want to overfill our sheet pan, right? Just want one nice even layer of broccoli. And then I'll do a nice little vinaigrette mix up once I do the cauliflower, and we're gonna give this a nice toss. And these will probably take about 20 minutes to roast at 425 Fahrenheit. Get some nice char flavor on there. Roasting broccoli and cauliflower is pretty underrated. And what is our ETA on the chicken? 36 minutes. So I better hurry my butt up. Because those can come right out of the sous vide and go into a hot pan. See, Helicopter? You're already learning something new. I mean, I love steamed broccoli and cauliflower, but roasting it is where it's at. And like these little pieces, those are just gonna taste like heaven. You're gonna caramelize a little bit. Right here, girl. Right there. Right here. Okay. Good girl. Dog eyes are intense. Yeah, she's so ready for it. Yes, Muffin. Okay, let's break down our cauli. Totally deaf. She's in it to win it. Your lame fiance. Love it, Muffin. Honestly, you didn't miss too much. All I've done is cook the rice and lentils and make the mix for the pilaf. And now I'm doing up the veg to roast. And we have 33 minutes left on the sous vide. So pretty much in 10 minutes, I need to get this veg into the oven and start roasting it. That sounds delicious, Mama. I don't want to do too much cheese though today because I already have feta in the chicken. But I'll definitely try that another time. I love crispy parm. Just missed another follow. Let me catch up, guys. Helicopter with the follow. Thank you. Welcome to the Onion Squad. Squad. -6 there. Yeah, you guys are getting crazy storms. Is it still snowing? It's been snowing a lot. One of my other favorite streamers, they're both from London as well, called Twin Vaders. They've been keeping me updated on their weather situation. Muffin. Just rub it in, why don't ya? Did I ask where you're from, Muffin? All right. I know I can't keep track. Are you the other Arizona person? That's my guess. Oh my God, but does it ever really cool off in Texas though? All right, just grabbing a little bowl for our vinaigrette. And that is where our green onions and capers are gonna go. Oh yeah, New Zealand. That's why you love my accent. I remember now. A boot. I just think the weather like this is gonna keep getting worse as time goes on. Definitely a climate change thing happening, whether we like it or not. That's pretty cool. -7. What was our lowest? -5 so far? Yeah, 40, 44 Celsius. Just roasting. Helicopter. It's okay, man. Kitchen confidence, it is. Sorry, I just saw that you were in here. This is my shun, my baby. Had it for 3 years. Still love it. All right, so going into our dish. Marianne, thank you. That's always great news. I'm probably gonna do about 2 to 3 tablespoons of the white wine vinegar. And then same amount of the olive oil. And then I'm gonna toss this over the cauliflower and broccoli. And that's gonna go on before we roast. Oh, you're streaming this weekend, Kitchen. What you making? Give this a little stir. Then I'm just gonna drizzle this over top. And I'm gonna use my hands after to just toss it around. Make sure it's nicely coated. Roast pork chops with habanero cherry sauce and roasted potatoes. Buttered Brussels sprouts. Sounds delicious. That is a Friday dinner indeed. Oh, till it's 6? Sammy's being silly in the background, guys.
What you got in the fish tank?
Chicken roulade. You've heard great things. Well, that's good. Oh, you're streaming tonight? I'll try and check it out after we eat and stuff after stream, for sure. Broccoli's running. So I'm gonna do the broccoli and cauliflower at 425 Fahrenheit. And it'll probably take a good 20 minutes. And we're gonna rotate the trays halfway through so it cooks evenly. And hopefully your oven has a convect feature, like mine does. And then that will also help to circulate since we have 2 sheet pans in at the same time. Where are you from, Kitchen? Am I having a party? I think we're going out for dinner. But on Thursday, though, I'm gonna be streaming. We'll go out for dinner on the weekend for my birthday. Oregon, awesome. Yes, Frog. Gotta love that broccoli. Gotta get your greens in. So next thing we gotta do is get our salt and pepper onto here. Kind of just make sure it's all spread out, nothing is overlapping itself. I'm doing them at 425 Fahrenheit on convect for about 20 minutes, Death. Is this food going straight to the fridge? Nope, because in 4 minutes I have to get it into the oven, so I better preheat now.
They're confused by Marianne's message.
Oh, no. I was answering Green Box, guys. So we have the same birthday next week on Thursday, and she was just asking if I was cooking on my birthday or not. But I'm going to be streaming on my birthday, and we'll go out on the weekend when I'm off. Frog with the follow, thank you. Yeah, don't worry, guys. This is all getting cooked tonight and eaten. Okay, oven is going on. Salt and pepper is coming out. Thanks, kitchen. I know, I can't believe it's March already. Craziness. I better get like a party hat of some sort, hey? Turn it up on stream. I wish I had access to like my old school little chef hat still, but it's definitely packed away. Ah. Yeah, I always go higher, Death. I find it cooks better that way. But everyone has their own opinion on how to roast veg. Some people say lower and for longer. Other people do hot and fast. Did I go to culinary school? I did. 7 years ago. Cannot believe it. Yeah, definitely well done roasted veg. And always make sure you have enough oil too. That'll help to brown it up. Most people don't put enough and then it gets all like shrivelly, right? Shriveled, sad veggies. Making sure that it's not too messy under there. If you put a small slice of onion under the mushroom on the pan. Interesting. Yeah, 45 minutes. I could see that. They dry up. I usually do 400 Fahrenheit for like 12 minutes. So once again, hot and fast. But I do a lot of olive oil on them so that they don't get dried up. He once tried magic mushrooms. And how did that work out for him? That makes sense, Death. I mean, you'll get it as time goes on, right? You always learn every single time you prep something. And plus, it's not ever the same every time either. That's the one thing about cooking. There's so many variables that always change. And if anyone is wondering what this is still, that's the basil for the pilaf. But I'm not going to put it in till the end, otherwise it's just going to turn brown. And that is it, my friends. Now we wait. I can get the pan out for our chicken roulades for the searing part. And I'm probably gonna finish them with a little bit of butter because why not? That's what helps to brown things. Yeah, I don't know where Finn's at. He's never actually in here Fridays typically. Finn the Butterman. All right, we're almost there. 19 minutes. Getting the cast iron out. Everything tastes better with butter. That is a fact. Can we think of something that wouldn't taste better with butter, food-wise? Cereal with melted butter? Water. I guess. The most tasteless thing? I guess that would make sense. Just because the way it would feel on your palate. Here is my beautiful cast iron pan. Just freshly re-seasoned the other day. How goes the food? It is good, my sir. Veggies are about to go into the oven. Pilaf just has to get mixed, and I have 17 minutes on my chicken roulades in the sous vide. Which is why I took out my cast iron, because it's almost time to pan sear. Hello, Rush. It is going good, my man. Thanks for always popping in and checking on me. We're getting near to dinner time. What? Dongs, you're here. We're cooking some stuffed chicken breast with spinach and feta, which I rolled earlier. The recipe is in my Discord, so if you go to my channel page, you'll get the server invite there. Helicopter, you hate unflavored rice crackers? Definitely a strong flavor, for sure. But they're good to dip stuff with. What? Kitchen. If there's anything that you would love to play around with in the kitchen, it's a sous vide. Really, really fun to experiment with. I use the Anova, and we've had this one for over 3 years now. Yeah, poor man's chicken cordon bleu. There is nothing wrong with that. I just went for a more Mediterranean approach today. Will they all fit? I'm just gonna do 4. I'm gonna leave the big one. Do it, kitchen. They're not super expensive anymore, either. Very affordable. Yes, Death. That's called a ballantine. When you stuff a chicken breast with chicken farce, aka like a sausage kind of meat. I mean, the sous vide isn't super bulky though. We have just this little case that we got for it. And then you can just easily take it apart and put it into those areas. And then we just slide it under our bed or wherever it fits. I'm sure you would enjoy one too, Panda. All right, guys, 14 minutes. I think I'm gonna quickly mix up our pilaf while we have time, because this is gonna come together pretty quick. Yeah, there is also the jewel. I've never used one, but that's the newer one. It's a little bit smaller as well. So as you can see, our mixture is still steaming, which is perfect. Just gonna quickly mix this in and then taste it and season it up and then put the lid back on. And I shouldn't have to reheat it. Basil can go in now. I mean, I'm not using it for presentation, so it's okay if it turns a little bit brown. Considering we have lentils and stuff in here too. And I'm sure it's gonna start to smell amazing. I might add just a touch of olive oil as well to this. Sounds good, man. I'll be here. You get yourself ready. It's a little bit sticky, the mix that I use, but I'm not opposed to that at all. Let's do about a tablespoon of olive oil into this. And keep in mind, I boiled this with veg stock, so shouldn't need to add too much salt. And I'm thinking the creaminess of the feta from the chicken is going to be so good mixed in with this stuff. Thank you, kitchen. Thank you for the biddies. I appreciate that. Let's give this a quick taste. Mmm. Definitely get the tomato and basil. It's not overly salty. So I'm gonna add about a teaspoon of salt, and that should hit where we want to be flavor-wise. Yep, that's bang on. So let's cover that back up before it cools off too much. Here is our close-up. Studded with some sun-dried tomatoes, some nice carrots, caramelized onions. Any tricks if you add too much salt? One of the tricks that we learned in culinary school is you can dull it down a little bit with something acidic, like lemon juice or a vinegar, but you can't really get rid of that. But it will turn your salt levels back down just a bit. That's really the only thing that I know how to do. So it's always good to add a little bit at a time rather than just adding like a huge handful and then being like, oh no, now what? Death. The biddies everywhere. Thank you, my man. Thank you. This is a feel-good Friday for sure. Helicopter, what are you doing, man? Get your ish together. You're still young though, so it's not too late to Make your life whatever you want it to be. What you mean confidence, what about salt? I'm just gonna put this veg in real quick, but we're gonna keep chatting. And I am gonna take out a pan from the oven. Which is hot, hot, hot. Okay, let's do 10 minutes and see where we go from there. Yeah, you could also do sugar as well. Yeah, honey or a molasses, I guess. But it does take a really good palate to be able to fix that, for sure. You know what, helicopter? I was suffering from pretty bad anxiety last year for a couple of months, and I actually did end up quitting the job I was at and somehow ended up here because this was always a dream of mine to be able to teach people how to cook, and I just ended up taking that chance because I felt a little bit stuck at the job I was at. You know, it's always scary to leave something that supports you in life, but I hope that you have good family and friends that will pull you out of this and kind of guide you to where you should go. Brain dead panda. Have you ever had sorghum? That's like the mixture between molasses and honey. So, so good. I'm sure Butt is gonna say yes. I love making a sorghum butter.
Actually, we put it on our pancakes, right?
Sorghum on pancakes. So good. Yeah, look it up, dude. Just putting a few things away, but I'm here. What about sorghum? It's like one of the most amazing liquid sweeteners, and it tastes like a mixture between honey and molasses. It's like really thick like that. Yeah, thick. Getting that set up, guys. Sounds out of this world. It is very tasty. If you can get your hands on that, for sure try it. All right, guys, 5 minutes. You got that 5-minute countdown. I don't know. Okay, be right back. 2 seconds again. how many jobs did I have at your age? I started working right when I was 14 and worked jobs ever since then until now. Dude, don't feel like a failure. Everyone takes time to figure out what they want to do in life. I started working at a grocery store, stocking shelves and stuff. And after that, I did landscaping and I worked at an industrial place as well. What else have I done? And then I started working in restaurants. So I've worked in about, I think, 5 or 6 restaurants. 100, taqueria, golf course, holes, Jasper, Big Rock, Lazy Gourmet. Sorry, 7 restaurants I've worked in 7 years. Yep.
Oh, you forgot one.
Oh, I forgot one.
Irish heather.
An Irish heather. So 8. You're jealous, Panda? I wouldn't be. No, it's called Holes. It was called the Glass House, actually. Probably one of my favorite places I worked. It was a restaurant inside of a huge greenhouse. So we always got really fresh vegetables. Like racks and racks and shopping carts that we'd always have to process. So one time we got like 2 big shopping carts full of pumpkins that we had to process within a day. Panda, when I walked into my first job, I didn't know a thing. All I knew was what I learned from watching Food Network. But no idea what restaurant work was like. And there was some tears for sure. Because they're not easy on you in there. But if you really want to do it, you will succeed. And 6 months after I worked in that kitchen for the first time is when I went to school. Because I knew that I loved doing it. You almost bought a house that had a huge greenhouse. That would be amazing. I cannot wait to get our garden going. "30 seconds. Veg is looking good. We have a minute left. Yeah, what do you want, Helicopter? You gotta do your pros and cons list. That always helps. Honestly, Panda, getting experience in a restaurant is, I don't know, not really worth it. You could definitely learn on your own a lot better. And working in restaurants kind of makes you sick of it, too, because it is such hard work for such little pay. Yeah, and it is very repetitious, so you think that you're gonna, like, be very creative, but you're stuck cooking the same menu for at least 3 months at a time. Maybe you get to do a couple specials here and there, if you're good, though, right? Because they have to trust what you put on the menu. But other than that, just keep working on it on your own, dude. Don't even worry about it. It's snowing death. You're happy? Yay! That's kind of like us too, Death. It's not supposed to snow very often here, but the last few weeks have been crazy. Get that rotation going, show you guys where the veg is at. So just a little bit of brown so far on the outer edges. Same with our cauliflower. And let us do another 10. And that should call it a day. That's it, my friends. You heard the beep. Your dream would be to travel the world feeding artists. That's a dream, but I'm sure you could do it. I think I would also like to be a private chef because I really take care in the food that I serve. Whenever I worked in a restaurant, I always said I wouldn't feed or put anything out through the window to customers if I wouldn't give it to my family. So you gotta hold those really high standards for yourself. Even when it gets busy, you can't drop the ball. Let's get these little roulades out. They feel good. And that is done. Done, done. Yeah, just keep watching Gordon Ramsay. Okay, so this is where we're at. So it definitely looks cooked, right? Compared to how they looked previously. Now we have to take them out of the bags, take them out of the wrap. And then I'm gonna dry them off a little bit so that we can sear them. You always want a nice dry exterior when you go to sear something. Smell that.
So the chicken's fully cooked, you just have to brown it. Oh, it smells delicious.
Wish you guys could smell it. Huge roasted garlic smells coming out of that right now. So this big guy, I'm not gonna cook up today. That's totally fine to just keep it in there how it is. Just get it into the fridge as soon as possible. It kind of is like pressure cooking. So if you vacuum seal it, then it is Panda. But me using the Ziploc bags is not. And the term sous vide just means it does mean to cook under pressure, but also in a water bath. So the machine keeps a specific temperature and I guess regulates the water temp perfectly and also keeps it moving around so it's not always stagnant. And it doesn't melt plastic, so you can't do this in a pot at home because your plastic would definitely melt and that is not good for you. So the temp I used for my chicken was 145 Fahrenheit. And then with me pan searing this, it's gonna bring it up to about 160, which is perfect. But doing the temperature initially low helps to not cook out too much of the juices. You're still gonna see it come out when I cut into this. But there definitely wouldn't be as much flavor and juices lost as if we were to just pan fry this at one time. So I'm just gonna cut open our little packages. And just get a paper towel onto this plate as well. And then that is what we have. So it's holding its shape, looks beautiful. You can see the little bit of juices that came out, but that's not nearly as much loss as you would get if you were to cook this at a high heat. I mean, you could also save those juices and make a sauce after too. Yeah. Get back in there, feta. Okay, we got 4 minutes left on our veg, which is perfect. I'm gonna turn my pan on right now, guys. High heat, obviously. And I'm gonna start this with a grapeseed oil or any kind of oil with a high smoking point. So any kind of vegetable oil, really. Obviously with the spinach, it's still gonna be a little wet, but just do your best to kind of clean it up. Get it as dry as possible. Looks good to me. Get a close up on there real quick because they're still steaming. And it is almost go time. Everyone's quiet, they're too focused, hey? I can't wait to cut into these for you guys. It's gonna blow your minds. Veg is looking good. So when this timer goes off, I'm just gonna turn off the oven and the veg can continue cooking a little bit as the temperature tapers down in there and it will stay warm. I can tell it needs a couple more minutes, so we'll just leave it in there until our chicken is done. The roulades. You could also do this with beef. It'd be really, really good. Just make sure you cook it a lot lower temp. I would go medium rare and then sear it off the same way. Delicious. Okay, our oil is almost smoking, so I know it's almost ready. And I may or may not need this grease splatter thing. Screen thing. Okay, and I'm also going to turn my fan up. I might get a little smoky. So I'm gonna sear this seam side down to start, just so it doesn't fall apart. I think that's gonna be the best way. Like so. Gotta get that sizzle. It's going good, man. Chicken just went in. Yeah, you totally did, but you know what? You can go into the clips right now because Death did a couple of them when I was rolling it. So yay for Death. And you know your chicken is ready to flip when it easily comes off the bottom of the pan. If it feels like it's stuck, don't try and peel it off. You gotta trust your meat. Alright, there's one. And we want to sear it on all sides. So if you need to, you can kind of prop them up against each other in the pan so they don't roll everywhere. Or against the side of the pan as well, which I did for one there. And yes, thank you, but I do keep all my vids on for 2 weeks at a time. And they're also on YouTube. I have nothing around them to keep it rolled up. I just sous vide it for an hour and 15 minutes so it held that shape. And I shaped them with saran wrap. So I'm just hoping that I did this all right and that they're not falling apart. We'll see the end result, because this is the first time I've done this. Falling apart a bit. As you guys can see. And those are the last sides, so I'm just going to put some butter into there. You only need about a tablespoon. J Money, what's up? Yeah, I could use butcher's twine next time for sure. Gonna take them out in 1 minute. Good morning, J Money. Love it. It's your morning and are having dinner. Good evening. Good morning, good evening. It's whatever. Hey, let's take these guys out. There's our little close-up. So they opened up a little bit. I am fine with that. Totally fine with that. I wanted to make it really simple and not do butcher's twine for you guys today. And plus this is the first time I've done this, so I needed to see how it would work out. I think it's yum. I think it's gonna be yum. Alright, I think it's time to do a plate up. Get our veg out. There is our cauli, a little bit charred. I'm just gonna try one. Perfect. And then here's our broccoli. You can see it went like a little bit more pale green, and that's just from the vinegar that I used on there. But I love how crispy the floret pieces get. That's exactly it, confidence. So it's completely cooked all the way through once we sous vide it, and we're just getting the color on it in the pan. Get a scoop of our pilaf. Let me just make sure that it's warm still. It is. I'm just gonna put a mound of that in the center of the plate. And kind of just push it down because that's where we're gonna be putting the chicken when it's sliced. So you wanna make a nice bed. And then next thing is our broccoli and cauliflower. Yes, Jay, it is broccoli. Place those around. Get your color contrast as well. I know the broccoli looks a little bit funny just because of the color, but I swear it's full of flavor. Just gonna put that plate in front of me while I slice up one of these roulades. It turned color because of the vinegar that I used in it. So anytime you use like a lemon juice or vinegar on broccoli, it's gonna turn a more brown color. Okay, we're going in. And that is where we're at. Perfectly cooked and juicy still. You don't want any dry chicken. And you definitely want a nice sharp knife for this. You don't want to tear your chicken protein fibers apart. So I'll just take the end piece here and do a little close up so you can see how juicy it is still. And the next thing I'm going to do is just plate that onto the middle of the plate on the rice pilaf. And then just kind of fan out your roulade for presentation. Like so. Not the best looking plate, but I swear it's gonna be delicious. And now last but not least, we have to try everything together. Thanks, Death. Even though this kind of looks like death, maybe it'll look better in this camera. Yeah, no sauce because the spinach and the feta is pretty wet, so I thought that would be a good mix-in for everything. You'll see, you'll see. Okay, here is my little piece of chicken that I'm gonna take. Mmm.
That's the dinner time.
I can already tell that my chicken needs some salt. So I'm gonna sprinkle some on after the stream for everyone. Next things up, my broccoli. With how much vinegar I use, you don't get that briny flavor at all. It just tastes really well seasoned. Maybe a little bite from the capers, but you don't even get the green onion either. Cauli, a little bit of char on there. Cauliflower is obviously a little bit lighter in flavor, which I like. It's good contrast. Say hi.
Hi.
Now I am gonna eat some of the pilaf with the chicken as well, because that was the combo that I was imagining. Yeah. The feta with that pilaf, so good. You can't go wrong with tomato, basil, and cheese ever. I'm super happy with this. The rice, if I was to be picky, is a little bit overcooked, but I think it just got a little mushed up because I mixed the stuff into it. Other than that, though, everything is on point, my friends. Okay, one more look at the roulades. Really nice color. And if you saw, there's a little bit of pan jus there that I'd probably just drizzle over the plate. Don't waste that at all. The texture of the broccoli, so it still has a crunch in the stem, and then the little ends where the florets are nice and crunchy. But it doesn't taste burnt at all, which is exactly what you want. And that is it, my friends. Another week done. Thank you once again to all the new people in here, all the follows. Thanks, Death. It's always really weird when someone calls me chef.
We chef.
Yes, chef. I'm used to saying that. And I'm gonna post up the menu for next week, probably on Sunday is when I usually do my planning. But thank you for the biddies. Same with you, Death. And you, Kitchen Confidence. I hope you have a great stream tonight, sir. Monocle, if you're still in here, thank you for the donation as well. And that is it. Really, really fun stream today, guys. Nice and chill. I'm glad you guys paid attention to everything. And I hope you guys all have a great weekend, because I'll see you back on Monday with some new flavors to cook. All right, guys. Cook with Kate is out. I'll miss you and have a good weekend.